Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Drivers Room Acelith Design Endurance Championship. Today we are at the Tokyo Expressway South Outer Loop. This is Season 5, Round 8, the finale 90-minute Tier 1. Okay, so it's been a very interesting season in Tier 1 so far, and Gadget has had his wheel burned off in the past two races, so he's been a no-show. He finally got his wheel back today, so he will be joining us. So let's take a look down the grid. This will be a two-parter race. The previous 90-minute I made was a very compressed one where I cut off a lot of the replay just to make the video. Today I will have the cutoff point at the 60-minute mark. Then I will do the next 30 minutes or so, maybe 15 or 20 minutes as a part 2. So just look forward to that, and we will get it started. This is going to be a longer grid walk than usual because of all the info I need to cram in here. So with that said, good luck to the drivers in Tier 1, and let's head over to the grid walk to see what the GR4 machines can do on Tokyo today. Okay, starting off yet again in the fourth time of asking. I'm sounding like TX41 now, 141. We have Smith in pole. Plucks the Quack Quack Duck, also known as Baby Spice, in second. Juggernaut in third. We have Flappy Spice in fourth. Martin B in fifth. We have Sean in sixth. Purple Spice in seventh. Berkey Baby. Eighth, we have Rice. Ninth, we have Senna, and in 10th, we have Muller. No show from Gadget or Muller today, so let's get the show underway. Alright, we are about ready to get this show underway. The 90-minute of Season 5 is about to start. We are off in our final round as we see Berkey having a good hell of a start in the Corvette. The Vipers are falling a little bit behind. They aren't as good in the start. And we see Plux just snatching the lead, and Smithy closing the door before Juggernaut. This is going to be a very long track, seeing as the pit lane is actually at the section where the drivers are coming up to right now. A very strange pit lane on this track. It's like the half a track away from the actual start-finish straight. But yeah, we have Plux in the lead. Looks like everyone has gotten through cleanly. And the front-wheel drives will probably suffer a little bit on this track. As we see Plux being hounded by 3 American monsters. How the hell will he keep these off as Smith goes around on the outside? Down into the chicane. Will everyone survive the chicane and the stupid sausage? Everyone survives so far, and Senna goes into the wall as Muller has crashed. Muller has crashed. He hit the freaking oh no. He just understeered right into the wall. Nothing he could do, and now he has to have a crippled run back to the pits. Oh, the bad luck just continues for Muller. As we see Smith in first in the mighty Viper. I love everything with the Viper. I love the engine. I love the bodywork. I've loved the design of this car since I was little and discovered the car on Gran Turismo 1. That's when I first fell in love with the American car. As we see Plux going on the inside into the hairpin, and Smith going for the cutback outside of the hairpin. Now it's a power struggle down to the tunnel as we see Smith falling a little bit behind. Plux manages to get his car planted in front of Smithy. The NSX does struggle a little bit with top speed. I know this from Fuji a couple of seasons back when I was in the McLaren. I managed to keep up with him, and Plux, from whatever he tried, could not shake me one bit. I pushed him so hard that he just kept on gaining penalties for his troubles. As we see Smithy, oh man, Smithy is on the hunt for Plux. He's on the hunt for P1. But we know the NSX does conserve its tires a lot better than the Viper, the Dodge. As we see Juggernaut falling a little bit off the pace, and Flapjack in the Ferrari 458. Corvette for Purple Spice, and he's being hounded by Ricey and Sean in the shopping trolleys, and Martin in the NSX, Senna in the Toyota GT86, and we have Muller in the shopping trolley. He's gotten his damage fixed, and look at the distance behind he is. Well, as long as he doesn't give up, and we see Sean and Martin both with damage. It's very easy to acquire damage on this track because of the narrow walls and the heavy damage in Tier 1. So that makes it for a lot scary interactions with the walls and other cars. As we see the beautiful purple Corvette of Berkey just trying to not understeer into the walls. As we see Ricey coming up to actually pass Berkey in the chicane. Holy crap. The chicken of death, as we see Senna almost crashing into the chicken on the outside. Oh my goodness. We have Martin there just in front of Sean, and they have a lot of groundwork to do now just to catch up to the rest of the guys. The same with Muller. If he just can keep his head down, it is a 90-minute race and anything can happen, and we will see him again. As we see Smith has gotten himself in front of Plux again. As we know, these two rivals have had a hell of a lot of good battles together. I remember in, I think it was Season 2, GR3, these two fought from start to end, and the only thing that made Plux win that was because Smith got a little bit too much wheel spin out of the last corner of Tokyo in the rain, and by that point these two had been fighting for 59 minutes plus, and Plux managed to narrowly run away with it in the end. So yeah, these two, they know each other quite well, their driving styles, and they know how to drive close to each other. As we see, Juggernaut is still trying to keep up with the top two. Flapjack is trying to get a little ground on the purple American. Ricey is doing good so far in the front-wheel drive. I do miss the front-wheel drive cars. They are quite strong, but as you can see on the front tires already, they are starting to they chew their tires quite quickly, and There's not much you can do about that with the tire wear settings and multipliers we have in the Endurance Championship. As we see Berkey in 6th. Oh, the engine, just a mean V8. Oh, almost getting a trouser problem right there. As we see Senna in the beautiful GT86. My stepbrother has one of these cars in real life, actually, and I was a big hater of this car because it just didn't look right, but seeing it up close in person and actually being able to be a passenger in one of these cars, just a beautiful, beautiful car. And I changed my mind quite fast, so I do love that little pocket rocket. As we see, Martin is gapping Sean now. Tires of Sean are starting to wear a little bit, and I am quite happy to see that more people are using the front wheel drives, seeing as me and Muller started the trend. And there we have Muller still trying to catch up, and we know Muller is quite efficient on his tire usage in the front wheel drive car, and he's a quite good and consistent driver as long as he can stay out of trouble. And definitely look out for him during the end, because he's probably caught up and gotten into battles with the other guys. Coming back to the lead, we have Smithy in first, and you would think Smithy is driving a front-wheel drive car with the tire wear he has on the Viper, but you would be wrong. And you see the more consistent wear on the NSX, and we've been driven for 5 laps right now, and no real indication that pit stops will be done. And as you can see, Juggernaut is a lot more sparesome with his tires than Smith. Like I said in the previous video, I don't know what Smith does different. Maybe he has the brake balance all the way to the front. I think I might have to ask or quote him on this, and just ask why his tire wear is so damaging to the front section of his cars, because it seems like they suffer a lot more than the rest of his tires. So either he's driving the car too hard, and he's driving it 150% of what the car really should be driven at, and he wears the tires more, or the brake balance is just at the front, or it could be, maybe, I don't want to say anything bad about people, but maybe he's driving on the controller, and the tire wear is just a result from the controller being a lot more inconsistent than a wheel. And we've seen from Senna, I know he's progressed to a wheel and he's become a lot more consistent on the tire wear. So with that rambling out of the way, we come back to Flapjack to take a look. He still struggles to keep up with the NSX and Vipers, and the Ferrari is a little bit down on power, it seems, but it should be a good enough handling car. But yeah, the power just doesn't seem like it's there, not enough. And the thing that the front-wheel drive cars does struggle a little bit more with than the rest of the field is understeer, because of the torque steer and all that, and the power, all the power being at the front. The car will understeer and it can't keep up as well in the corners, as we see him almost scratching the paint off that beautiful Rizla car. He's being chased down by blah blah blah. There's going to be a lot of those in my videos. As he's being chased down by Berkey. Berkey is probably feeling the tire wear at this point. His tires are suffering a little bit more, but the Corvette is quite a good car from what I understand in the GR4 class. Although it's probably a little bit like the front-wheel drives, it does understeer quite a bit because of the weight being that great. And I think the Viper, the Dodge, has probably done a better job removing a lot of the understeer, but I do remember from driving the GR4 Dodge a little bit that it understeers quite a bit more than its GR3 counterpart. Senna in the back there, just trying to make up some ground. This is more or less a power circuit, and the GT86 is more like the trophy, good on short handling tracks where the corners are many and the corners are sharp. It has a kick into and out of the corners, but it just lacks that little bit of top speed. As long as you get the car in a slipstream of another, it does actually keep up quite well, but alone on track without any slipstream or help, it does suffer. As we see, Martin is starting to make up some ground, and he could be dangerous for Senna within the next few laps. He is catching up, and he does have a lot higher speed and acceleration than the puny little Toyota. Sean is probably not able to keep up with Martin at this point. Does understeer a little bit, and it's better just to try and conserve the tires in the first quarter of this race. And as we come back to Muller, we see him with damage on his left front. So he's probably been hard into the wall somewhere. Maybe he's been unlucky enough to hit that damn chicane again. Because we have two chickens of death in Gran Turismo Sport, and that is on Dragon Trail Seaside and on this track. But it is a good little track. I do love this track, and I've had a lot of good races here when we've been here. Not often, but we've been here in Plux's series as well, and I have actually forgotten the name of that series. It was the Drivers Room Asian Touring Cars, I believe. DRAS for short, Drivers Room Asian Super Saloons. There we go. I remembered the name at last. Been doing two videos today, so my voice is cracking up a little bit. Seeing Smith back in first, his front tires are starting to drop off, and I think we are about to see Plux joining in on the fight again. Just been calming it all down. And we do see Juggernaut's tires are looking a hell of a lot better than Plux's tires. Even the rears of Juggernaut is looking a lot better than Plux's. So Plux must have the issue with the engine being in the middle and the rear tires suffering a lot more. The engine of the Viper is in the front and it is quite heavy, but Smith is using a lot more of his front than Juggernaut. These are the closest out on track right now, so we might see a pit stop from Smithy anytime. We have Juggernaut. He has gotten past Plux. Still nowhere. Let's take a look back at Plux. Oh, ho, 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 ho. He almost hits the wall. Ooh. I think Juggernaut has a lot better speed down the straight. Yep, the Viper is just too powerful for Plux. Goes on the inside. Just makes it look too easy right there. Just listen to the sound of that mighty V10 as Plux just bumps Juggernaut a little bit. Maybe Plux's tires are run off so much that he just can't keep up anymore. We see Smithy just diving into the pits, Juggernaut diving into the pits, Plux staying out for one more lap. And we know Plux is the same as Gadget. Well, Gadget saves his tires a lot better, but Plux can't stay out on worn tires a lot longer than a lot of people. That's just the champion in him, keeping him out and very consistent. As we see, DJ Rice and Berkey Baby have all gone into the pits right now, and Berkey has some damage for his troubles as well. There we have Rice and Sean. Berkey is fixing his car. He's probably been into the wall in the chicane somewhere. As we see Muller still staying out on his damage. And like I said before, Muller is very, very sparesome to his tires, and he makes them last a hell of a lot longer than they actually should. Plux now in first, and he's doing good. He's got Flapjack right behind him, but he's got an angry Viper and an angry Viper behind him. Two Vipers, two Dodges coming up to say boo. As we see Plux and Flapjack staying out for another lap on those increasingly worn tires. Big gap to all the guys. No real fight, no real battle developing as of yet. But anything could, of course, happen. We see Martin inching closer to Senna for each lap that goes. Senna's fronts are starting to suffer a little bit right now. And Martin. We have Ricey. Oh, scratching some paint off that car. Just understeers. Look at how much they use the curb, even though it's quite dangerous. And we have Berkey. Let's hope he can get through here cleanly. He's probably been in. Oh yeah, that wall is so dangerous. As we see Muller all the way in the back. He's been into the pits, so he's dropped a little further behind. As we see Plux going for yet another lap. So this is the 13th lap he's going through. 13th lap of asking, as TX141 would say. Check out Tier 2 from round 3 when it's available. TX141 has a stream footage of everything. Since it's so professional, we are going to use that instead for Tier 2. Round 1 and 2 for Tier 2 is going to be done by either me or Craig. So look forward to that after Tier 1 is done. Flapjack and the Plucks still staying out, and Flapjack's tires are actually not looking that bad. A lot of wear on the left side, but other than that, and it looks like Plucks is struggling a little bit because from the looks of it, Flapjack is actually gaining on Plucks right now. Oh, and he just understeers into the wall, and now Smith will be even closer. Smith with the best lap time of 1:38.9 at this moment. Let's take a look with Plucks as he goes around for the 14th time of asking. Not willing to yield just yet, not willing to pit just yet, as the multipliers has lowered a little bit. The fuel has gone from 2 to times 1. The tire size has gone from times 3 to times 5 to times 3. As we see Senna into the pits coming out on new Racing Soft, and no fuel taken. As we see Ricey now catching up to Senna, it will be difficult for Senna to keep up with these shopping carts. I remember at St. Croix when I was in the McLaren 650 that Muller was going in on the following lap. So at the bridge at St. Croix, one of the St. Croix layouts, Muller just said to me, "Okay, go ahead, I'm going in on the following lap." And yeah. Honestly, I tried, but the stupid shopping cart just outpowered me, and yeah, I just had to wait until Muller actually went into the pits to pass him. So yeah, that's how strong these monsters are. They may have front-wheel drive, they may have more tire wear than the other cars, but they are hellishly fast. Technically, they shouldn't really be allowed in the GR4 class, but every single car, every single class has been opened up for the Endurance Championship. As we see Plucks going into the pits, no damage, but he does have a penalty. As we see Plucks there. Martin now in for his mandatory pit stop. He didn't really need it, to be honest. As we see Ricey. Just powering through. And we have Senna just trying to hold off Sean. But as we know, Sean's car is so much faster down the straight, and Senna's actually holding Sean off. Yeah. Senna's just doing everything he can now just to stay in front. Not much he can do, to be honest. As Sean goes for the right and is ahead of Senna. If Senna can just stick into Sean's slipstream, he can keep following, save tires, and save fuel. But I wonder if that McGann is just a little bit too quick down the straights. Senna does have a lot of punch out of the corners, but not enough compared to the front wheel drives. There we go. Some onboard action with Senna. He manages to stick into the slipstream, so there's no problems there. Coming back on lap 24, we have Plux still in the lead. He's been into the pits and still keeping it going. Smithy there. The Viper just doesn't have enough handling capabilities to keep up with the NSX at this point, I would believe, but anything can happen. As we see Flapjack. Flapjack is up to third, so I think Jaggernaut must have been into the wall somewhere. Or maybe he's had a pit stop where he filled up his tank. I really haven't a clue. Not easy to capture all the action in a 90-minute race. As we see Martin in fifth, still trying to catch up to the rest of the boys. Sean there. Going a little bit slow out of that hairpin. Berkey. And we have Ricey all the way down in eighth. And he's been into the wall. Probably on the outside of the chicane. Let's hope it doesn't slow him down too much. Looks like he is struggling a little bit, but it could just be the rev limiter we're seeing. Senna. And Muller still hasn't caught up to the guys. It's been very lonely for him so far in this race. Not a lot of action for Mr. Muller. But at least there's some good points to get from this. The points does reach up to 15th place, and that means that he'll still get points, and it will be a decent amount, so he might actually avoid relegation. As we see Martin into the pits, yet again, coming out of the pits, right behind Sean. baby. Go on board with Berkey for half a lap. Beautiful sounding V8 from that vet. Skipping ahead yet again, we have come back to lap 30 for the remaining 10 minutes of the first parter. We have Ricey down in 9th after fixing some damage and some pit stops later. Muller is finally on the same stretch of road as Ricey, but he still has a bit of ground to catch up on. And he's got himself a little 1 second penalty as well. As I said before, the penalty system in this game is a little bit ludicrous and might need a looking into before Gran Turismo 7. Jumping up to Smith in second as he goes into the pits to change out those worn fronts. Coming out again right behind Flapjack. Flapjack's tires are looking good. And Jaggernaut is doing well as well. That just sounded a little weird. Doing good in second for the moment. Tires are looking very good on that Dodge of his. It might be on a different pit strategy than Smithy. We have Martin B. He won't be showing in the next season as he is taking a little sabbatical for the rest of the year, and he will return in Season 1 2021. So we have Sean still sticking with it. I've had a lot of good races with Sean as well. A very good, fair and clean racer. Very respectful. I enjoy racing against this man. And I hope to do so again in the future, real soon. As we come back to Berkey, the purple spice of the M4R crew, made for naughty word, or made for ramming. Made for racing is what it is. But it could be so many things. Made for ramming or made for RI, and you finish the rest of the sentence. Something very adult. As we come back to Senna in 8th, he's just been keeping his head down and trying to find a good pace and stick with it. It's not easy when you technically have possibly one of the slowest cars on track when it comes to speed and speed alone. But in corners, this car is an absolute beast. Oh, as he cuts over the chicane completely and manages to get unscathed from any damage or penalties, it seems. Wow, he just missed that completely and lost ground to Berkey altogether. Ricey keeping his head down. The damage probably killed his pace quite a bit. He was doing so good in the start, but is suffering a little bit right now. There we have Muller yet again, the loneliest man on track, or like the animated show in Grand Theft Auto's little cinematic universe, the loneliest robot in Britain. The loneliest McGann in Japan. Coming back to Plux the Duck, as we see Senna has gone into the pits. I think Plux will probably go into the pits very shortly as well, as we have 5 minutes remaining of part 1 before we end the world and go over to part 2 of this 90-minute race. It is the only way I can actually get this 90-minute video to work, or the 90-minute edited video to work, I should say, because of the Share Factory's limitations. And I don't really know how to use editing software on PC, as I am not considering myself a PC man anymore. I am not a part of the PC Master Race. As we see, Juggernaut has gone into the pits and the camera won't focus on him. Tires did die off in the end, but nothing too bad. Smithy there, following Flapjack quite closely. As we see, Flapjack's tires are starting to run off. And where is the... there we go, camera malfunction. Smithy's well ahead. Oh, look at how deep Smithy goes. Almost hits the wall on the outside. Juggernaut in 4th. He'll probably be 3rd by the time Flapjack goes into the pits, which I think will be very, very shortly. What about Plux? Is he going into the pits anytime soon? He goes in right now. As we see Flapjack staying out for yet another lap, and Plux is topping off his tank. He's got a half tank of fuel, new fresh tires, a new attitude, and ready for the hunt. As we see, Juggernaut has taken up the chase to Plux. Just look at how much speed Juggernaut has, and Plux is trying to cover him off. And Plux is defending for dear life. Does not want that purple Viper ahead of him. Oh! Plux is really pushing it on cold tires. So we've got 1 minute to go. And we've been racing for a good full hour. As we see, Flapjack has gone into the pits. Probably drop back quite a bit now behind Juggernaut and Plux. We see Juggernaut all over the behind of Plux.